Wellbeing Wednesday on Channel 98.9, a weekly series focusing on all things good for you. It's sponsored by Blue Zones Project Corry. And with me today in the studio is Chuck Gray, Executive Director for Impact Corry.
Hello, good morning.
First, for those that are not familiar, tell us a little bit about Impact Corry.
At Impact Corry, we say we're reinventing rural through community, economic, and civic development. What that breaks down to is about a year and a half ago, we finished a community strategic plan where we identified the areas we would work. So currently we're working to improve housing in neighborhoods, green spaces throughout Corry and trails, city center as far as its density and liveliness, the connectivity. So yes, fiber is coming after a huge delay. Basically using federal funds slowed us down, but that should be starting this spring and should be done by the end of the year, as well as the technology center that we're very excited to open and start training people beginning very young for careers in technology, either remote or traditional. And the last focus area is working with the city to strengthen their fiscal balance sheet. A couple headliners there is working with the city to create the Golf Commission, move the North Hills Golf Course under their leadership and get them on a positive cash flow, as well as right now finalizing the transition of the airport to a new authority, which again will do the same. We'll seek to bring more revenue to Corry and more economic development through the development of our airport.
Thank you. You have a lot going on.
Yeah. Trying to keep it straight in my head some days doesn't always work.
Right. And so now we've got the Rails and Trails Park coming. Tell everybody a little bit about that.
I want to start with, I know it's a small slice of land, so envision in your mind just north of Main Street, between Maple and First Avenue, and just south of Rossbacher and White Butterfly. That rail yard is where our park is going to be. From the street, it looks deceptively small, but when you start measuring, it's about 70 foot across. Mm-hmm. It's about almost 2 acres of land. We've been working since the community strategic plan to develop that area because that's actually going to be the trailhead for the Erie to Pittsburgh Trail. The Erie to Pittsburgh Trail is going to drive a lot of visitorship to Corry, so let's make hay with that by bringing those people into our downtown historic retail district.
Sure.
The plans for the park are not only to serve those people, but also to serve our community. South of Main Street is actually on the statewide map for places that are at a recreational desert. Essentially, that means that people living in that area are more than a 5-minute walk away from good recreation. So we're building trails up into that neighborhood to lead those folks down. We're building trails throughout the Corry area so people can safely get from their neighborhoods to the Erie to Pittsburgh Trail to this downtown location. So the vision for the park, the east side of it, which would be North Center to Maple Street, is more of a Zen kickback area. There'll be wildflower gardens, gazebos, places for people to play, recreate, put your feet in water, have some time away, as well as it's a performance space for music and other presentations. Where the west side of it, between North Center and First, is more commercial. We're looking to bring in a brew pub. There will be a splash pad that doubles as a synthetic ice skating rink in the winter, a performance space that road shows can come in. We can do live events here. We can do presentations and essentially make this space usable by all our group. So like Corry Rails, they want to have major events in downtown. So we could use that park space for presentations, performances, education, and relaxing, as well as shut down North Center Street for their vendors. All of this, that's just one. So think about all the ways we could use that space year-round to drive economic development and play and just a great space to be in our downtown.
Sounds very exciting. The Rails and Trails Park, and of course the Erie to Pittsburgh Trail, that's a whole other topic for another day. We're talking with Chuck Gray, Executive Director, Impact Corry. So tell us more about what's coming up with the park.
We're in our second year of a Pennsylvania Council on the Arts grant called Creative Communities. And this grant funds working with artists to create place-making artworks. So places that define your community, that speak to who you are, as well as, you know, everyone's going to want to take a selfie or an ussy with it. Mm-hmm. We've been working the last 2 years. We've had design competitions, and we've had regional artists who's applied and have designed benches in the first year. This last year, Wendy Neckers actually won the competition to design our bike rack, which will be developed locally and created and put in.
And Wendy's the owner of the Painted Finch.
And Epiphany's Emporium.
Yep.
But we're also working with other artists. Andrew Ostrowski is an international lighting designer, and he's located in Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. He is the artist, and he's been in residence with us working on developing the lighting for the downtown park, because we need to keep this place safe and lit and beautiful and attractive. He will be part of the group coming to Corry on the 26th of January. We're having some public events. He will be here in the radio station with you, but he will also be presenting on a Zoom and a live presentation for Impact Corry, where he's talking about the design of the park, and he's actually bringing the lighting instruments so we can see what they look like, what they'll do.
Oh, cool.
Also coming, Jessica Taylor and Brad Triana. They collaborate together, and they're going to be creating a gateway and fencing project. Just for those who are safety minded, on the immediate outside of our park, between the park and the railroad lines, there will be 6-foot high wrought iron fences, so no one can meander onto the railroad tracks. However, we need to do another fencing that on the other side of the tracks to, again, reinforce safety. But on the Main Street side, we wanted to tell the Corry story. We wanted to attract, and anybody driving by would go, what's going on there? That's a cool place. I'm going to stop. So Brad and Jessica they'll be meeting with the Historical Society and touring the historic museum and learning about our past. They'll also be working with students locally to talk about what they see for Corry's future, and then also presenting in a Zoom and live presentation about their work. But those meetings with local folks are going to be part of the design process. The things we tell them are going to end up in the artwork they create. This is not Pennsylvania Council on the Arts funding. We are searching for additional funding to create more murals downtown. Everyone loves the Climax mural, and that is going nowhere. We're not covering it up. It is staying there. But we can actually spruce up some other areas and just make it exciting and vibrant by creating more murals. So we are working with local businesses and also artists from around the area to talk about what this looks like. We're going to be going for funding for this year, and we're looking to work with Joel Brennan as well as Aaron Knapp. And everyone knows Joel from his downtown business, and Aaron actually did the retouch up of the Climax mural in the first place. So he'll be known here as well. And they'll actually be in and being interviewed and around that same day. That's the big part of the day, is basically just to get out, meet community, talk about the projects, hear what locals think about them, and start moving them forward so we can deliver the projects.
Okay, so a lot's happening with the Rails and Trails Park and other things downtown. And January 26th, you said, is
January
the date
26th.
that we'll have some visitors in town.
Yep.
And how can folks get more information about the project, or if they want to get involved with helping with funding?
You can go to impactcorry.org. Actually, you'll land on our donation page, so that's simple. If you switch over to the news page, you'll see an agenda for the visit on the 26th. And that's always the place to check for upcoming events, as we try to keep it current with what's on the horizon.
Okay. Thanks for coming in today. It's Chuck Gray, Executive Director of Impact Corry.
Thanks for
Chuck.
having me.
Thank you for tuning in to Channel 98.9's Wellbeing Wednesday, sponsored by Blue Zones Project Corry. We hope you take time today to prioritize your well-being, support a friend, family member, or neighbor, making healthier choices, and together we can live longer better.